Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Kamar Yellis here with another edition of the Finance Rebel Show. Let me talk into the mic so everybody can hear me. So today I'm doing a late edition. This is actually the first broadcast of the new year. And we're going to talk about a couple of things, but today is just our live Q&A show. I do Q&A every Wednesday. I was supposed to do it at 8. But y'all see it's more like 9:40ish. But the discipline said I need to do it. I at least got to do it. So I'm here. So feel free. Any questions you might have, throw them in the comments. Any concepts, questions, again, thoughts you might have, go ahead and throw them in the comments. I already have a couple of questions already set up, ready to go that I got early today. Regarding taxes on selling your personal home and the importance of savings. Miss Charlene, how you doing today? How are you? Happy Wednesday. Happy New Year. Again, this is the first official broadcast of the Finance Rebel Show for the new year. So happy 2020. Hopefully everybody has got their 2020 vision together and is ready to go. Like everybody knows, I do these roughly just about every day. Usually a lot earlier. I still haven't gotten down a schedule pack, but I'm working on it. So I'm broadcasting live on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. So if you see my vision sway off just a little bit, no, I'm looking at somebody else. I'm not just crazy talking into the wind. But let's talk about the very first question. So the very first question came today. Got it in the inbox. So the question was, when a homeowner is selling a home they own for 10 years, if they gave the buyer a seller credit of $7,000 for closing costs, will the owner be taxed on the $7,000 as capital gains? So there's a funny thing about selling a home when you live in there for a while. Typically up to the first $250,000 if you're single, or the first $500,000 if you're married, and profits is when a home residence becomes taxable or becomes susceptible to capital gains. If not, no tax. You pay no tax. So the fact of the closing costs doesn't really matter. That would play into fact with basis. That's a super duper technical term. So I wouldn't even worry about it. All right. So, that's one of the beautiful things about owning real estate. Sometimes I get beat up for my commentary on real estate sometimes, but again, it is what it is. Some people think I hate real estate. I don't hate real estate. I just believe you use the right tool for the right job, the right strategy for the right project. But moving along. Again, feel free to ask any questions. Tonight is Q&A. I'm not going to be on here super duper long, but I do want to help everybody and try to answer as many questions as possible. Hey Sharp, how you doing? Again, I'm broadcasting live. If you know anybody that might need any questions asked or answered, feel free to share this out with them. And Ms. Charlene says Happy New Year to me as well. So again, Happy New Year to everybody that is joining. I'm looking for this other question. While I'm looking for this other question, this year has been off for a crazy start for me. I've literally had an aunt and an uncle pass away in the last 10 days, I want to say. And one of my best friend's mother just died yesterday. So I'm looking and thinking about all these funerals I'm going to have to attend. And yeah, I'm being selfish because I hate going to funerals. But I'm going to go. I hate going. I always like to remember the people that I knew and loved, how they were, not necessarily how they are, in terms of being in a casket. But it always brings me back to think about this. Do you have enough life insurance? Now, these folks that passed were older. Some of them had life insurance, some of them didn't. But the question is, do you have enough life insurance? Hopefully you do. because it's nothing like passing a hat around, asking family members for money, for burials, for tombstones, just for overall living, when a lot of that could have been avoided. You know, everybody's circumstance is different, right? No judgment here. But if you have the money available, get some life insurance. It's important. We talked about that the other day. If you have some money, get some life insurance. Review your will. If you don't have a will, get a will. Review what you have in your 401k plan. Review who the beneficiaries are in the 401k. Make sure your money is going to you want it to go to. Look at the beneficiaries on the life insurance you may have right now. Hey, Brandon, how you doing? Look at all that. Look at all that. It's all important. It's all imperative. It all will affect you and your legacy. And guess what? Everybody has a legacy. Right, wrong, good, bad, or indifferent. Everybody has got okay, I got you, cousin. My cousin's watching. Yes, I got you. We'll just talk because you got kids. So yeah, you need to protect the babies. But the other question I had today, and again, feel free to throw questions in the comments. I'll be answering them for the next 10, 15 minutes, or maybe a little bit longer. Depends on how it goes. But again, feel free, throw your questions in the comments, and I'll do my best to get to them. So this comes from a buddy of mine named Nicole Newman. So she has been ranting about savings. So I'm going to read her post, and then I'm going to give you a bit more context. So this is why I hate savings without a purpose. I would much rather invest. Kamari Ellis. So she tagged me in a Facebook post. Me and Nicole have been having this ongoing debate over this last month or so about savings. I'll tag her in this. I told her I was going to talk about this anyway. We've been having this debate about savings. She doesn't like savings. She thinks savings is stupid. Savings is dumb. She would rather pay down her debt or invest the funds. And that's okay. But here's the thing. We all live in real life. We all have real issues and consequences and family members. Sometimes I got crazy family members, but you're always going to need money for a rainy day. Now, I don't like calling things, I don't like the title emergency fund. I like to call it an opportunity fund. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing. It's putting money aside for when, one, you got an opportunity to potentially buy something that can make you more money, or two, putting money away to make sure you're not spending more money on something later on. For example, the brakes in your car go out. You don't have any savings. So guess what? You might have to put that on the credit card if you're fortunate enough to have a credit card. Guess what? If you don't pay that credit card back, you usually going to have to pay more money in interest. So you could have just paid it in cash. Had you had the money in cash, you could have paid for it all. It wouldn't have been an issue, right? But when you don't have savings, you have less opportunities. That's why I like to call it the opportunity fund. Fund your opportunity. So again, me and Nicole kind of go back and forth about the idea of savings. And I think it's imperative to save. It's super duper imperative to save. And guess what? The people who made the most money, we always talk about the 1% and how people are uber rich and like 10 families run the whole world. Well, guess what? A lot of that is true. But the other thing that a lot of people aren't thinking about is the greatest wealth transfer that's ever occurred in mankind was the Great Depression. Now, just a little bit of a life lesson or history lesson, right? The Great Depression happened in the end of 1929. I know that was a long time ago, right? Almost 100 years. And for all of you who hate history and think it's irrelevant, yeah, it's still relevant, all right? It matters a lot. But in 1929, the stock market crashed. People started jumping out of windows. Everybody went crazy. But those were all the people that went crazy. Those were all the people kind of living on the edge anyway. Guess what the real rich people did? The people who had money in the bank, money under their mattress, money tucked away for a rainy day, they got to invest in. They started buying property. They bought stocks. They bought businesses. Why? Everything was on sale. So since everything was on sale, they had an opportunity to cash in on that. Now, yeah, the assets may have stayed depressed, meaning in a low price range for quite some time. But over a while, say 10, 20 years, they made a lot of money. They transferred a lot of money to the hands, wallets, and pocketbooks of rich folks. Why? Because they had cash. So listen, a lot of our habits, our spending habits, our money habits will dictate where we'll end up in life from a money standpoint. Again, I wouldn't say keep money in savings forever, but you want to have savings, and you want to have savings that they can be deployed to investments or deployed to avert spending more money later, or spending money to avoid other emergencies later, right? Credit cards, things like that. It matters. I mean, when you really think about it, most of the people who are really having problems are people that live way above their means, right? If you live below your means, and I know that's rather cliche these days, right? But it's still true. It's still true. If you live below your means, if you don't spend more than you make, you tend to be all right in the game. If you have champagne taste with beer pockets or beer wallets, as my grandmother used to say, you're not going to be able to do well because you're always going to be out of sync, and you're never going to amass anything to have an opportunity to really get in the game. And so I would say your biggest priority before paying off debt, right? I know a lot of the gurus always say pay off your debt, save some money. The debt will be there. That ain't going nowhere. And I'm not saying to be irresponsible, right? I'm not saying to not pay your bills, not be responsible. But listen, the first rule of, I say, living is preservation, right? The first rule of nature, preservation of life. Preservation of life oftentimes comes down to your financial life. If you are down in the gutter because you don't have any money and you got all these bills and you don't have any opportunity, guess what? You're probably going to stay there. You're going to have to do something a little bit different to get yourself out of that ditch. One of the things they say, if you are in a ditch, what's the first thing you should do? Stop digging the ditch, right? It's just that simple. Now, again, I see people all the time blow savings on material and consumer items. They bought a new car. They went on a vacation. Tax season's here. Everything's about to go up, right? So, furniture, used cars, vacations, homes are all about to go up. Y'all have heard me say a lot of the same stuff before. It's nothing new. It's not rocket science, right? But again, people are not thinking about the long term. Yeah, they're like, all right, I got to get out of this debt. I got to get out of this debt. And that's fine. And that's all well and good. And listen, I'm not for, again, big debt. But what happens if the roof falls in? Yeah, you may have insurance. You may have good insurance. But what happens if your adjuster can't get there and they can't cut you a check? Do you have enough money to stay in a hotel for a night or two? Do you have enough money to rent a car? Do you have enough money to travel to a family member that might live 50 miles away? All of those things matter. All of it. So listen, again, I know some people are barely making it. They're scraping by. You can save $5. Save $5 every time you get paid. Every time. It adds up. Old man told me that one time. Old wise guy taught me that. And he's right. It adds up. I mean, I think I can't get to it. I was trying to get to my jar. And, I've said this before. And I'll show you this. This jar has saved my life a couple times. So what did I do? I saved my coins. I put my coins and sometimes my loose change, my loose dollars into that jar. And when I needed it, if I couldn't get to any money, or something happened, or a payment got delayed, or my client didn't feel like paying me that week, I had money to go into my little piggy bank, my water jug there, right? And so Brandon said hello. So we have some comments. Terry Lamar Williams says, I always believe in having some reserves. Absolutely. Absolutely. It was more millionaires created during the Great Recession than any other time in history. Yes, 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 that is indeed true. And you should always pay yourself first. I agree. I agree with that 1000%. Pay yourself first, right? There's a saying in a book called, oh man, the greatest. I can't think of it. I can't think. Something Babylon. The richest man in Babylon. The richest man in Babylon. There's a saying in the richest man in Babylon that all of what you make is a piece of everything that you make is yours to keep. A piece of everything you make is yours to keep. If you haven't read The Richest Man in Babylon, I suggest everybody go read The Richest Man in Babylon. It's a great book. But that saying, a piece of all you earn is yours to keep, basically says that everything that you make, you get to keep a piece of it. And you pay yourself first, like Terry just said. So you pay yourself first before you pay your credit card bills, before you pay your car note, before you pay your mortgage, before you buy groceries for your house. You put a little off to the side, just a little bit. And then you keep putting a little bit. It's just like me putting money into this jar. Now I got some coins over here. I got a quarter. Don't seem like a lot, but every time I put a quarter into that jar, it belongs to the jar. It belongs to my savings. And if I keep doing that, and if I keep saving, at some point I'm going to amass a nice piece of change. And that nice piece of change, like I said, I like to call it the opportunity fund. That nice piece of change is going to help me get to a better position in life. Will it happen overnight? Absolutely not. We have to be patient. It took us a long time to get where we're at. Hopefully it won't take us as long to get out, but we still got to be patient because it's going to take some time to get out of the situation that we're in. So Charlene Curtis says, your husband does the same thing. Okay. Smart man. I like that guy. Tell him he's all right with me. So yeah, I mean, just put a little bit away. Don't worry about it. Don't count it as bill money. Don't count it as sneaker money. Don't count it as jewelry money. It's money for the stash. It's money for opportunity. It's money to do things. I mean, listen, if you're really serious about getting wealthy, become a super saver, right? And you'll see people out there talking about savings a waste of time, because you have some people that just save and they never deploy their capital. They never put their money to work for them. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about first getting into the habit of saving, right? And just keep in mind, I don't know too many people that are in my audience that are billionaires, right? So I'm talking to the average everyday person, what you need to do. So just put a little bit aside. Like I said, $5. That's all you got. Start with $5. It goes a long, long ways. Start with $5. That $5 over 20 weeks will turn into $100. Another 20 weeks, you'll have $200. If need be, you can go buy yourself some waters and get out on the corner and sell them. If need be, maybe you could take your car and do Uber and Lyft and figure out a way to leverage up and do some more. With $200, you can start selling t-shirts. I mean, again, it's really just about being creative, using that creative brain God gave you and being able to do some things. But if you're just sitting around saying, woe is me, you'll never be able to do anything, nothing at all. All right. So we talked about taxes. We talked about taxes on a sale of a property, right? We talked about savings. I don't want to belabor that because I talk about that all the time. Yes, Terry, you have to make savings a priority. But does anybody have any other questions? It's the 8th day of the new year, 2020. It's going by super fast already. Like I said, we're doing a Q&A. If you're just now joining, my name is Kamari Ellis. You're watching the Finance Rebel Show. This is the Ask Kamari segment that I do every Wednesday, and it's normally scheduled to go off at 8 to 9, sometimes 7 to 8. I still haven't determined an actual schedule yet, but I'm here just about every day, almost every day, at least Monday through Friday. Every now and again, I'll give you a bonus on Saturday. But today, again, is Ask Kamari Wednesday, and we're looking to answer any questions you may have about investments, taxes, money, business, real estate, any question you may have. More than likely, I could probably answer it. Why? Because I've been in business for over 20 years, been in the finance and accounting world for over 20 years. I've seen just about, I can't say I've seen everything because that would be a lie, but I've seen a lot. I've seen a whole lot. So again, if anybody has any questions, would love to answer them. And if not, I'll be back tomorrow. What am I going to talk about tomorrow? I don't know yet, but it'll be about money. Something about money. I'll talk about it tomorrow. So, all right. Well, everybody that is on, thank you for joining. As always, happy New Year. It's the 8th day of the new year. I hope everybody has goals and not resolutions. I actually hate resolutions, right? Because most people break them. I think the study says like 95% of people don't keep their resolutions. But hopefully you got some good goals and you're sticking to those goals. I got a bunch of goals. So I'm getting busy this year. But I didn't wait to start on January 1. I started last year in October, November, and December. So if anybody has any questions, something I can talk about on air, I'll answer the question. Text me at 484-278-1357. Again, 484-278-1357. If you like to be around people and you're looking to talk about various money, and you're looking to increase your financial literacy, your financial IQ, come on and join us in the Finance Rebel Academy. The Finance Rebel Academy is a group we have over on Facebook. It's totally free, but we talk about money every day. I think the big discussion today is your real estate an investment? Is your personal residence an investment? That's better. Is your personal resident an investment? Some people say yes, some people say no, but at the end of the day, it's all about how you maneuver it, all about how you use it. So Elite Tax Aid, my buddy George down in Texas, methods of health insurance for Rogers. What does that mean? What's a Roger? But I am not the health insurance expert. I am not. I can talk about life insurance. I mean, I can talk a little bit about health insurance on a surface level. Oh, health insurance for business owners. Okay, so Elite Aid Tax and Financial is asking about health insurance for business owners. You know what? I'm not super qualified to talk about that, but guess what? I'll find somebody to talk about it. Somebody good, somebody reliable. So again, I'm gonna conclude tonight, but I got that question, George, and I have a couple of people who do health insurance for business owners because it can be expensive. It can be quite a penny. All right. Well, folks, again, join the Finance Rebel Academy and text me if you have any questions. Again, 484-278-1357. I am Kamari Ellis, the Finance Rebel. Thank you for watching the Finance Rebel Show. This show is all about increasing your financial IQ. And so until the next broadcast, y'all be great. Y'all be good. And I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.